It's interesting. They just decided that I think they said they were a benefit fraud or something, and they stopped my pension or something like that, and I just get some benefits of some sort. But and they're going to stop that too, so I'll be powerless. And so that's the sort of thing they do here. And one of those things. And apparently it was this Kim who reported this false report, and well, I don't know what happened to him, but basically that's how they do things. You know, it's all a lie. They say I'm not 91. I'm was it 40 or something like that. After 40, then I've got to go back to work. Could be true. I think we're another 40 years of work. How wonderful! I'll be a businessman this time and make transfusion manufacturer. Looks like I have to move out of here, but the finance, if they let me out of the house, we probably won't let me out, it'll be thrown out. That's what happens. As Britain, I say they'll restore my rights if I join their church. Well, I didn't go to church the other day. I don't know how to join it. The show church means gang. They wanted me to join their gang. Well, they're criminals. That's the trouble. They don't rid us now. I don't know what they think. It's either what they. Well, I really don't understand them at all. They're fighting another gang over there somewhere outside. The people here thinking foreigners are gas for us, any enemy. So, it's a big gash in my face. Yes, could be bullet wound or anything. But they're still all sorts of lies. Bandit when perhaps razors less either. So anything. Basically, the world is full of this lying stuff. I've been keen over a dice for the pills they give me. They're trying to kill us with the pills they get. Not much fun doing, really. All against me. Don't really know the problem is really. I don't know. They have a gang. Well, there appears to be gangs, gangs of men. That's what it is. And one against it's the warring tribes. You know, this planet's full of warring tribes. Gangs of men fighting each other. It's a bit like monkeys and apes and sort of thing. Just as nutty. Nutter's pointless because they all die. And we can't get along. So, I don't know. Nutty though. And I've been told she told you never got the money yet. Well, they're dying. I do, they're dying. Not much I can do about it, sir. Apart from turn to crime when I want to. Certainly a crime might make money, you know, but it's probably, I mean, put in prison and stuff. Get a different, well, they've already put me in prison once for nothing, so I'm going to go again. Got nice in prison, get fed. Don't get fed outside. And well, you might get beaten up and so I might take your brain out and all sorts of stuff. As I say, that's the sort of thing they planned this attack for years. I don't know why. And don't really understand it at all. No understanding of our society. And I suppose I have to generate an income and put it into my card. They'll probably steal that too. They're stolen otherwise. That money was paid by cash and not as my income. So it's a private income, nothing to do with them. Anyway, they stole it anyway. So I don't get enough money to live on. I really got enough. Edith is no longer mine. She's being dead. Edith now murdered, so I don't feed her anymore. And she's no longer spending my money unless she rings me up and asks for it. I can't send her any, so I won't. I don't know if she's alive. No point sending it if she's not alive. So if she's got a means of sending messages, she can. But presumably she's dead. That's what it's said. No idea who she is. Gone. They've really thrown me out of my house. I've been in about 1 million years. They don't believe it. Don't believe a word. Probably got benefits, you know. Well, they know that probably because I'm actually quite ill anyway. They know I'm ill. Got high blood pressure and goodness what else. I'll probably die again. So, anyway, really disappointing find they steal things. They spend their life stealing things, murdering people 10 times. And I really don't understand it. Kim's been attacking me for years. There's no reason for it. No reason for the attack at all. He just attacks me. That's all. and he's vicious, right? He just attacks lots of people. You know, it's his hobby. It's a hobby to attack people. He spends his life suing people, and he kills people and dissects them alive and eats them, all sorts of things like that. Terrible man, and he gets away with it because they're in the right gang. They often get the bottom of my skirt to play over there. They're good for anything. They're not normal at all. They sit down. People just sit down without pressure. Actually, so they put one of our brains in. They don't really. Anyway, that's in. So if I go out, I really lock the door, seeing it, so I stop can't go in. It's pretty bad. Well, if I stay in, I back down right away, so can't go in. So it's a vicious place, and not democracy at all, really. They never go for that. They steal money. They stole most of my money. They stole all the money I saved up. Now stealing the rest, which is what I was predicting. Just an excuse. And they're doing it legally through these criminals up in Runkle, which are too far to go to. I can't get there. Well, I could do it with my hitchhiking, but finding the room would be difficult. So I don't know. I sound very responsible with the money. I know what I've done. I sound very responsible. Well, can't do anything about it. She's gone. So we had plans of making it home together, you know, but they wouldn't let us. And they say I shouldn't pay my wife, you know, nonsense. Not allowed to pay your wife, can't do that. And how much I'll get today, it might be £50 instead of £70, really. I don't know what's going on. I got a bit much bigger. We got it one time and we just cut it down, and so it's actually awful, you know. And they do it because they strip they cut my lip and they cut this cut, which is a sign that you sign to them it's a criminal, which you're not. But you know they cut the face to make a person look like the typical appearance of a criminal, which is not true. Criminals don't look like that. Most criminals are good looking and they're smarmy and they get away with it. And that's what you find. And well, they're smiling, most people, but basically criminals. The worst murderers, the worst sense of Mr. Blair, he murdered people. He raped women as well. He wrote one of his victims was my wife, which is probably why she's been done. And that's it. And I've been victimised too. The people in power, criminal, they're really nasty. The people in power, they're not. It's not a democracy, but it's not a democracy at all. It's a slave state. Horrible place. Not much I can do about it. What's going on? So they say Kim detected something, but it's not true. He's just a criminal. He's just lying. Basically, I can't do anything about it. I mean, unfortunately, it's a false accusation, as usual. And when he does it, you see he goes around the back and you can't see it. It's a false statement. And we can't, well, see it. So, and I don't know what's happened to Kim. Hopefully somebody will kill him because he's doing it to everybody. He's telling all sorts of people, you know. It's actually about life in stress. I upset him by saying life in stress, which to him is does upset him because it means he's not immortal, which is irrational. He's not immortal, nobody is. But under the English law, he can't sue me for saying that because it's upsetting, because he finds it offensive. That's true. Can't do about it. I can't apologise because it's true. I did apologise, sorry, but it's true. Can't do about it. So what can I do? I did apologise. I'm sorry, but it's true. I can't do about it. And you are not immortal. Go die. Well, hopefully he's dead now, because that's what he bloody deserves. You know, he's a delusional. If people defend their delusions about being immortal at lethal force, because it is a delusion, and the Second World War was the same, you know. Hitler said we weren't immortal, so they killed him. They're probably banging the door and show me out now. Bailiffs will come and take me. He's transferred the house name to his name and steal it. I think he didn't want to go into the hand of the Scientology church. If you don't have money, you won't take you to the Scientology church either. You know? There's no protection from anybody. I don't take people like me anyway, scars. So whatever happens, you had it. They're very clever people, these enemies, these delusional people called Christians. Very clever, very nasty. They had all planned, must have planned it for years in advance. These attacks are planned for over centuries of work, how to get rid of people. And the leader of Christians, the English church, is the Queen. So although she's probably not doing anything, she's responsible. So that means that they're all criminals, they're all murderers. That's what it is, murdering people and lying, deceiving, stealing money. You know, you trouble is, as I said before, if you've got money invested with them, they'll steal it. They'll say, "Are you fit to have money?" What that really means, they go work for me. As I say, they're still talking about us working for Kingston US for $6,000 a month. I don't know whether you get your brain studying, but it means I couldn't do anything. I just Brown like to be able to do so. But Uncle Arthur, when they did his brain, he did go to work, but he just sat and didn't do anything. He was carried, and that's how it was. I can do something. Anyway, I should probably become a terrorist, start shooting people, until they gun me down. That happens to a lot of people. A lot of terrorists go like that. They get done, they get cheated and wrecked by people, and then get done again. They start shooting and get shot themselves. And when I've been under attack for years, there's no reason for it. See, their system depends on people believing the delusions of Christianity. And when you're getting violent, it is the end of it. You can't get anywhere. Because violence is the end. So you keep saying Christians, Jesus was made and they assigned you. Of course you can do about it. They're delusional. It's in the Bible. It is. The people believed it. They murdered Scarface. That's why they scarred him. Same reason. Because he said if he knew, Jesus had told him, so they murdered him. Well, they said he didn't murder, they stole his money. And vipers group, actually, these people. And they're the people who killed Jesus are now called the Christians. They're not really Christians at all. They follow St. Paul, and he killed Jesus. Read the Bible, so that's how it is. Saul is the person who killed Jesus. And chances of me going to work, I could go to work, but it'd be very difficult. And I wouldn't get much money, they wouldn't pay me. The miserable sods who wouldn't pay me. It might be better if I went to Russia, you know. It probably difficult to get there. But it's possible. There's an embassy in London. If we stop going, if we shoot them away. Don't want to be here. In prison, they're all went up and sick of it. I was, once, when I was younger, I was taught to be proud of being British, but you find it's not true. The promises are not kept. The money never comes. That's because I was talking about aliens. They see these delusional people don't believe in aliens. I don't know why. Why not? It's pretty obvious there. Anybody who knows about any astrobiology knows, any astronomy, pretty obvious. It's quite difficult to know that, but you need to quite brains. That's why they don't damage the brain. So if people can't work it out, they know, but they can't work it out. That's how vicious they are. See, this person who took my money is a criminal. I said so. I'm a very clever man, probably loves prison more than criminal. And they steal through these rest of the Springfield steal money for all sorts of people. The criminals, I don't know why they do it. It's to retain the status quo, that's what it is. All these changes. I should be dead, sir. I'll shut now. I'll probably be killed, sir. Probably shot if I go. So I'm probably shooting people is a bit of violence. It shows. We don't do that. Take the brain out. So anybody who is in danger of being got by a psychiatrist, chop their brain out. A bullet in the bottom is the best way of doing it, but just a knife through the head is the best way of doing it. And when I went to the course at the church, they told me how to do it. They showed me a demonstration. Chopped off his brain out. And when it was slave, I went to course, it cost me £30. I don't know if that's all right now. I said, well, they're criminals, they're murderers. So they might be. Burn Christians are suitable. And all they're suitable. It's a slave state. And the only way to get rid of them is to kill them, because they can't be reasonable. No question of equal partners, nothing like that. They think they're delusional to think they're in charge, and because they're clever, they stay in charge. They're just murderers. And usually when there's interaction, it has to be talked about. But to find my contacts, and basically the contacts I have are not anything to do with interaction. I don't know anything about them. There's no question of them being interaction. They're not involved at all, and there isn't one. I know nothing about it. I would like to see democracy restored in this country because it isn't there. They talk about being a very democratic country. It isn't. It's awful. It's superficial. The speeches in Parliament, there's no audience. They have it on television. But because the people who are stupid or drugged or out of work, they never say it, so they don't understand it, so there's no audience. So, only the privileged few have time to see it, and they're at home. And people like me are at home, they want to get rid of them. They say, look, well, I don't. If you look at this, I'm getting old, they poison me, so I'm getting old. And that was the idea. They poison you to make you old. If we mean to look at it, my skin is full, I can see the skin, so destroy it. So. And anyway, I can't really accept Brazil, really. I think they're going to cut off income altogether. And I don't really understand it. They believe what they're doing, keeps going about send you back to work into the money. It's not true, you don't get paid to work. You work, you get your money, you take it all back, so some point go to work. You're better on the job because you can't be expensive. We're not going out to work, it's cheaper. Very expensive to go to work, you have to go on a bus or a train or something. It's very, very difficult, there's huge crowds. Work is so impossible, but it really is difficult to work, do anything. It really is, but I don't understand it. It's very difficult to do anything. Of course, all my friends are murdered. One is probably murdered. I give her a meal, they'll probably murder her. Because that's what's her. And she's actually a communist. The one is a communist. She's a Russian, you see. And so she's where her country she's down to a gas chamber, which is the same here. She's come here for safety, but it's worse. She's just on the street trying to trade. Well, she is making money, but more than me probably. If you count the number of sales they make, look how much money they make. It's not very much. Anyway, it's a bad world. No, I mean it's true because they say I've been out of work. I actually retired. I retired. I was about 70 when I retired, basically. They don't believe it. They kept me prisoner since 1942 when I was shot down. And I was between 20 when I was shot down. So they're so evil they are. They lie all the time. It's all lies right the way through. Clever. And they can't get away from it. I should have returned to Germany in 1945, but the war ended. But it wasn't. Kept me a prisoner. And I was one of those things. Well, they know I'm an alien, really, and they want to use me. Well, I'm willing to teach them, but they don't want to know. This engine I'm building is human technology. It's 19th century technology, and it probably won't work. I'm not claiming it works because it doesn't. And if I claim it works, they'd shoot me. Because if it works, it means that the war against Hitler was a crime. And that's all. It's the end. And they've got thousands of pounds of money and they've stolen it, basically. Oh. They won't give me any money at all now. If I complain, they'll cut my money, you see. They won't have any money at all. But it's going to, probably they're not at the address they say they are. They say they give me their published address, may not be where they are. And if they take me, they probably won't be where they are. They weren't willing to let me go up there and talk to them one time. And things went wrong. I know people died. You see, Kim would lie. He'd write stories and so on. Kim would lie. He writes books and he takes legal action and so on. And obviously, there is a way of paying for benefit frauds, and you can just label someone as a benefit fraud. That's all it is to it. Nothing about it. That's the end. It's very easy to do that because you don't have to identify yourself. That's the problem. So you can't get back to them. And that's nasty. It's a nasty one. The idea is to hide the identity of the informant so that the person will will be identified, and then they can check. But that's a criminal. But anyway, this is my birth certificate says I'm 21. Of course, they say it's not my birth certificate, it's from somebody else. And it's one of those things. It's a joke, really. Sickening, isn't it? The system set up is very sickening, really. Sickening. They're all right. The people do things because they see it's like Germany. Hitler's Germany, like you're going to put a paper and you do it. And well, that's the same now. It's everywhere. They all have bits of paper and computers. They don't think for themselves. You see this walking about. Oh, he's out of work. People on private incomes are like often attacked for that reason. Say don't dress up. And Kim is a clever man. He realised he got me because he had a smirk on his face. There's a partially sighted. They told me I was sued by a partially sighted man for saying there's life in space. Well, I know there is, and he's deluded into thinking he's immortal, and that's what he's doing. He's suing me for upsetting him. Well, it's all right. I can't help it. Life is like that. And so well, I don't know what he's trying to do, but he's a criminal, basically. He probably thinks he's helping out, but he's a clever, nasty man. Very clever, and he's nasty with it. I knew he was doing this, basically he's to other people. All these rich people are being sued by this welfare staffer called Jim Brown, who's been a porter all his life, basically, and that's what he's done. Well, of course, it's a clever thing to do, and nasty. He's been he wanted to attack me for years. And it says I'm a benefit for it now, and all sorts of things. Well, I think we should shoot him, but that's what we can do because he's a nuisance and causing trouble. And so there's not much. You can't reason with them. He's gone to law, and the law is more powerful than he is lying. But he is a criminal because he's lying. I mean, what you say about life in space, it's not something you can choose. It must be true because it's obvious from the physics and astronomy. But he probably knows that, but he just doesn't want to believe it because it's upsetting because he knows he's blind. He's not blind. He's only partially sighted. He's not very bad. So he's alive. And they want me to attack him in public, so I can be got for it, basically. And he goes through people's brains. He stabs people in the brain as well. You know, he's a terrible man. And most of these people in high places like that, I think he's pretty much still saying, well, Grand Master saying, well, he's done all these exams, done divinity exams, and he's a clever. He's his own way. He's quite clever, but his intelligence is criminal intelligence. So that's the end of it. Okay. Cut him his head.